Has your mom or dad ever told you, don't take a piece of candy until after dinner, but you take one anyways? Or to get off your video game and do your homework, but you sneak in a few more minutes, and soon they turn into a whole hour? Good morning, everyone. My name is Patrick Macy, and I believe life is full of temptations, and we need the wisdom to see the big picture so we can know when to resist. Temptations may be something we want to buy at a store, hanging out with friends when we have work to do, or even just sneaking a cookie from a cookie jar. There's nothing wrong with eating a cookie or hanging out with friends. Resisting temptation is about doing the right thing at the right time and saying no when it's the wrong time. I'm not saying this is easy. When we have our sights set on something tempting, our brain is not working at 100% because we get so fixated on that thing we want. If your parents left the house and said, I'm leaving this chocolate bar on the table, but don't eat it, are you going to just let it sit there, a yummy Twix bar just going to waste? I don't think so. It's hard to think clearly and make the right decision in the moment. Sometimes we don't make the right decision because our friends are goofing around and we get caught up in the fun. It's okay to be caught up in the moment and to have a good time with your buddies, but you can't forget about your responsibilities or what consequences may occur. Of course, we all get carried away, and sometimes we get in trouble for it. When that happens, we must also learn from our mistakes and make sure we don't make them again, or else the consequences will be greater. Here's what I mean. At lunch one day in 7th grade, one person threw a cracker at another table, and the situation kept snowballing. Then the other table threw back, and it turned into an all-out food fight. Whole sandwiches are thrown, and it got to the point it was almost dangerous to be sitting at the tables. Many people were so caught up in the moment that they didn't even realize the other grades were watching, and so were the teachers. We were all setting a terrible example for the younger kids. If me and the other kids at the table had had the wisdom to pause and think about our actions in the bigger picture, we would have stopped the chaos rather than looking irresponsible to the other students and teachers. Another time, I faced a lot of temptation on an all-star team I played on. Many kids on the team were troublemakers. At team events, they would often go off doing something they weren't supposed to do. Many times, these kids would go around ding-dong ditching, which is ringing doorbells on houses and running away. I was faced with a very tough situation, deciding if I should go with them or be the one guy to stay back. I felt very peer pressured in this situation, as many of you may have felt before. I wanted to be part of the team, but I also wanted to do the right thing. I faced this dilemma over and over. Eventually, I noticed there were a couple other kids on the team hanging back like me, trying to decide what to do. We banded together and decided to do the right thing, even if the other guys might have thought we were wimps. When faced with situations like this, you have to think what the long-term consequences will be. That day, I listened to my inner gut, found courage with others, and made the right decision. Later, many of those troublemakers were punished. A few of the houses they had ding-dong ditch had caught these kids on video and alerted the whole neighborhood. The word spread very fast in the community. Their reputations were tarnished, and that reflected poorly on the league we all played in. I learned that things may be fun in the moment, but there can be long-term consequences resulting from an event. In the scripture Lexi read for us, Jesus is tempted by Satan, and Satan offers him the rule over all the kingdoms of the world in exchange for Jesus worshiping him. Jesus refuses and says, "You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve." This situation may have been tempting for Jesus because humans crave power just like a piece of candy. But he was able to remember the big picture and the purpose of his life, and he made the right decision. In this situation, I believe God tempted Jesus to see if he was ready for the bigger challenges to come. I believe God tempts each and every one of us in life. Maybe not as extremely as Satan tempted Jesus, but temptations do come through the pressures put on us by others. By resisting temptation, we shape our character and grow into stronger people, able to stand for the right things, even when it's hard. Sometimes, resisting temptation is not that important, and it's okay to just eat the cookie. But as kids, we often underestimate the seriousness of situations, like my teammates did. We need to think carefully before we act, because by making the wrong choice, we could ruin our reputations. News about kids behaving badly spreads very fast. That means adults and other kids won't trust you. Your friends' parents might not want you to come over or let you hang out. This is why we all need to stop and think before acting, so we can become people with the strength and character to make the right decisions in the face of temptations. Like most things, thinking first takes practice. So I encourage all of you to listen to your gut and join with me in practicing resisting temptation. If we all practice this skill in the small decisions we make every day, then when we face a big temptation, we will be people of good character, ready to do the right thing no matter what others around us are doing. Thank you.